2, 3, go. We're live.
It's time for morning sick. Woo!
Nice. We got a theme song.
Finally,
That was
after
amazing.
9 episodes, we got to get you in the studio and record that.
That was good.
All right,
That was something.
we're gonna play that over and over. I love it.
I didn't think she was gonna do it.
Yeah, no,
Sure
that's
enough.
cool.
Still got nothing here though.
I got it.
Someone's there. I can't see you yet. Hold on. Hello.
That's Paul.
Paul, good to
Alyssa.
see you. Alyssa, good to see you. You can see that far?
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of, and I can guess pretty well too.
It's just a blur to me. This is with
Nicole.
contacts in. This is with contacts.
Thank you, sis. Nicole, Hope. Yeah, I was gonna say Hugo for Hope, but that's
that's what I'm saying.
Ethan. I can't see what they're saying, but I can guess their names because I don't know. As soon as I see it, I kind of recognize that those are people who've been with us before. So I have no idea what they're saying. I see a hi, good morning, people. Hello. Hi, or is that ha? I can't tell. Oh, it's ha. Yeah. Was that a joke? Or was that a laugh at my joke?
That was a good joke.
Of me calling you Hugo.
Now I can see you guys. There we go.
You can. That could be your new nickname.
There we go. That's a good nickname. Good one. It's got a nice ring to it.
What is the origin
Go
of
back
that name? Do you think? If you had to guess.
I got it. I'm feeling like somewhere in Spain, Portugal.
Yeah.
It's got like a old world feel to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe Italy or
Yeah.
yeah.
So are we still considered New World? Like, is that when they say Old World, New World? One of those phrases you hear, but I don't fully know what it means. But I just use it. So.
Yeah, I would imagine when I think about Old World, I think about I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Someone figure it out for us.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it as always. Good morning, everyone. Who's that?
Liliana's on.
Oh, Liliana. Hey, Liliana.
Naomi's on. Hope says we have more pictures. Yes, thank you for noticing, Hope. So this is the artwork of Melina. Say hi. No, she's right over there, right there.
She's shy.
But she started with a few, and then she just went for it. And I don't know if you can read these ones here. Morning, sip. That's what those say. And this was just one day's art project. Just went for it.
Yeah. So very much more colorful backgrounds, and obviously they match our colorful personalities.
Perfectly. Her favorite letter is actually one behind you, the rainbow H. She's like, I'm gonna put that behind Pastor Will.
Hey, let's go, Melina.
There you go. She's got you. She's got your number.
She's got my heart right there.
Rainbow H.
Rainbow H. Yeah.
That could be your new nickname.
Rainbow H. I think that's a cool nickname.
That's a good one.
I like Rainbow H. Yeah. Did I tell you that we came up with a nickname for you?
No.
Everybody in my youth group has a nickname.
I like this.
So Kate was like, "What should Pastor Michael's nickname be?" Because I can't remember who gave me the nickname. It was Nick Allen. Nick Allen. Well, we modified it. Nick Allen gave me the nickname PW.
Okay.
And then we just shortened it to PW. So
There you go.
my name on when we write name tags or write anything officially, it's
PW.
PW. Yeah,
I like
it's
it.
kind of fun. So she was like, it could be Pastor Michael or I don't know, P Mike or something like that. And I was like, how about P Ham?
Yes.
And she's like, yes, P Ham. And I was
That's
like, all right,
fantastic.
cool. So
P
Pastor
Ham it
Michael.
is.
So we gave you a nickname of P Ham
So we got to switch from Morning Sip with Will and Michael
to
Morning Sip with PW P Ham.
Ham.
I was at a church and they had.
No, my nickname is
That's true.
Rainbow
H. Rainbow. Sounds like a morning talk show, like a shock jock thing.
I feel like it's a code name.
P Ham and Rainbow H.
Shout out to
There you go. They say it looks great, Melina,
yeah.
and that they are epic, and that you did a great job. Yeah.
I feel like I should just turn to the side a little bit.
We should just not even be here.
I should just do the show like this
Yeah.
all morning.
Just let these shine for everyone to see.
I want my Rainbow H to be on full display here.
PM and Rainbow H recording live. That's right.
Yeah.
We are live. So I was at a church and they did all the pastors on staff. Like the main pastor his name was Frank, so everyone called him PF. It
Mhm.
works. So that kind of became the thing, like pastor, P is your first name.
Yeah.
But it worked better for some than others. Like PF sounds cool.
Right.
And then there was one that was Jeff, so PJ. I'm like, it sounds like pajamas.
Yeah.
I was a PM. Like that doesn't sound great. Like, the only one that was really cool was PF. Like that sounds like a cool name.
Yeah. PM is like.
Yeah. You know,
because it already is kind of.
it's already a thing. Yeah. And
Yeah.
PJs are already a thing.
Yeah.
And there's like
exactly. So
PC,
it's like-
but that doesn't really work either.
Yeah, no. It's like
So-
PC or Mac.
Yeah, right. It really only worked for the senior pastor. Then there's another
I've
N1
heard somebody.
staff.
I've heard somebody. I think it was. I've heard one of our staff members called John. PJ. John Shabagna.
See, there you go. So it works for some. Well, how are you guys doing?
You guys have any cool nicknames? Since we're talking about nicknames, I think I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago that I have a. It's not cruel anymore, but it used to be kind of like it used to hurt a little bit. That like one of my cousins used to call me Sweet Pea.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I only ate Hawaiian pizza.
I forgot. I'm gonna start calling you that.
So yeah, she still calls me Sweet Pea to this day. And now as a grown man, I'm not as concerned about it as I
It's
used
kind of how
to
things
be.
go. Like first you can be kind of like I don't like that, and then you can just own it.
It just grows on you, you know. And so now she calls my son SP2, like Sweet Pea.
There you go.
The second.
That's a good nickname too. That's a good name.
Yeah. So nicknames.
Let's see. So DJ NJ. I need to know more about
What
like
that
like
means.
DJ as in like a DJ.
Disc jockey.
Is that what we're going with here? And then Nicole says Dippin' Dots and Pumpkin.
Ooh, Dippin' Dots. Actually, I've is that a Biola thing? I've seen that. I feel like I've seen your name written at Biola as Dippin' Dots.
I knew a guy that had a nickname as Pumpkin. It kind of fits more for
Pumpkin.
the girl.
Pumpkin. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Nemo Naomi, that's a cool one.
Oh.
See, this shows you that I'm older than like most Pixar movies because when I think Nemo, my first thing is not thinking of Nemo the fish. I think of Captain Nemo from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. First thing I think of, like, Nemo, that's such a cool thing. Captain Nemo's amazing. Like, oh wait, they're probably talking about the fish.
Nemo. Yeah. No.
I gotta go that way. And then we got Sunny D. Ethan calls his sister Sunny D, but she hates it. That's a pretty cool nickname.
I think so.
Do they still make Sunny D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
That was around when I was a kid, so.
Yeah. We used to in order to like I used to buy Sunny D all the time instead of like actual orange juice because like my students don't really like
Right.
real orange juice.
Yeah.
They'd rather
And
have
Sunny D does not taste like real orange juice at all.
Not at all.
I don't know what it is,
It's
but-
orange drink.
Orange drink,
That's
yes.
what it is.
Orange drink.
Sunny D is orange drink all day. Yeah. Did Nicole answer that Dippin' Dots one?
It is a Viola nickname.
Got it.
She has several of them, in fact.
Cool. Yeah, everybody gets nicknames out of Viola.
I worked at a camp and we did that. We all had like, it was an outdoor education camp, so we all had nature names. So there was like Spider and one guy wanted to be Dirt, but the boss wouldn't let him. He's like, no, because all the kids are going to be like, you're Dirt. It's like, that's cool. But no, so he went for Gecko instead. I was Wave, like
Nice.
the ocean wave, yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
It was fun.
that. It's kind of fun, especially like for camps and things like that, where you have kind of a cool nickname, and that just kind of flows with you throughout the camp, you know.
And then the
Yeah,
kids
but
tried to
then-
like guess everyone's name. It's the whole thing. We said if they guess it, we'd get it. We'd like actually tell them.
Yeah.
So that was, And then actually, I got a nickname inside a nickname because they wanted clues throughout the week. And so I was like, okay, well, it's a name in the Bible, so they're guessing Bible names, and they'd always go like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Like, no one's name is Acts. it's not a name. But then I was like, okay, well, it ends in an EL. And then they're like, oh, it must be Israel. So then, like, for the rest of the week, they called me Israel. But that was also not my name. So 2 nicknames in 1 week.
Acts in
They
Israel.
were really disappointed when they found out it was just Michael. They're like, what? Like, that's it? Israel's cooler.
No one's name is Acts.
Right? Yeah. Good times.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
I want to know, like, are there nicknames? I guess it wouldn't be a nickname, but like things your siblings called you, like, because that got me thinking about Ethan. Things your siblings called you that you didn't really like. Like, my siblings just call me like Little Mikey. I didn't like that. That was not my favorite. But still, now they call me Little Mikey. You said it too. It's like you get older and they still call me Little Mikey sometimes. And I'm like, oh,
You know.
yeah, I'm
it's
okay
not
with it
that,
now.
not
Yeah.
that big a deal now.
Yeah. No, I own it.
Let me see. So I used to have not a. It was actually more because they couldn't pronounce my name like as kids.
Will?
Yeah, right. No, everybody used to call me William. Like Little William was my. Okay, Little William was like and what everyone called me because my dad's name is William. So Little William was like my name, and like William is actually kind of a hard name to pronounce for kids, just like the W and
The L,
the L's. Yeah, it's all challenging. So one of my cousins, she called me Little Woodit for like. Like 8 years for a long time, and then another one called me Little Pillion.
There you go,
Little Pillion.
Yeah, that works too.
She couldn't pronounce the W, so one couldn't pronounce the L,
So
the other one
either
couldn't
side
pronounce
of
the
it there,
W.
yeah.
So if you put them together, they could say my name correctly.
It's funny how like nicknames can stick too. Like I have an aunt. We call her Aunt BB. Her name's Elizabeth, but her little brother couldn't say that, so we called her way back when he was a little kid, couldn't talk. Called her BB.
Mm-hmm.
So now everyone just calls her BB.
BB.
Yeah, that's like her name. Or like I have my sister-in-law. Her name's Catherine, but Micaiah, for some reason, this last holiday we were all together. He started calling her Aunt Bunny. We don't know why, but now we all call her that because it's hilarious. Like, just like that, a 2-year-old has power to set the stage for the rest of your life. Now this is your name.
It completely changed the
Right?
your life was going.
Went from that to
2-year-old
Bunny. Just what kids can do. They have power. It's amazing.
Oh man.
Well, what's new with you guys? How are you guys doing? You say what's new, but is anything really new? There's got to be something, right? Between last Tuesday and this Tuesday, certainly something at least somewhat different happened.
Yeah.
Did you change up your breakfast? Did you? I had to. We ran out of. I go for English muffins every day.
Uh-huh.
We ran out, so had to change it up.
I have different breakfast every day almost.
I know.
Yeah.
I usually don't even do breakfast. This is a new thing for me in general.
No.
Because usually I'm like sleeping in as late as I can, out the door to church.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm here.
That is
So
true.
eat
Actually,
something.
I rarely have breakfast in the morning. But now since I'm home, I eat breakfast. And then what I try to do is because kids they don't like routine, and I like just changing things up a lot on them anyway. So I try to do something different for them every day. So I try to do oatmeal on Monday, cereal on Tuesday.
I see.
We get Jamba Juice every Wednesday.
I like that. It's good.
My kids call it pajama juice.
Are they in their pajamas when they get it?
No.
That would be amazing.
Last week they were, yeah, because
There
they
you
had to take Alexis to her appointment and they didn't get dressed in time. So yeah, they're in their pajamas. Drinking pajama juice.
That's the dream.
Yeah, and then I rotate the cereal and oatmeal back in on Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday we usually order out somewhere for breakfast.
You're way more planned out than I am.
My life is too chaotic for it not to be so I need something in my life to make sense.
I mean, what's today? I don't even know. What is going on?
I need some form of order in my life because
all
everything else is too just chaotic.
So Hope says it rained. It did, which was surprising to me.
Yeah.
I kind of thought once it got hot, it was just going to be hot. That was a nice little. I'm thinking the last rain for a while.
Yeah, that was really cool.
School is finishing. Cole says that's true. You guys are close. I'm assuming
Today's the 19th.
week or two-ish, right?
Yeah.
Alyssa starts beach volleyball tonight. That sounds fun.
Oh, Alyssa, are you? Is that with Elite? Possibly.
There's a beach volleyball league.
Yeah, no, Elite is the name. Elite
Oh.
Beach Volleyball
That sounds cool too.
Club is the name of the program. Mike DeRaff is a brother in the faith. He's a good guy, so hopefully that's where you're going. If not,
Hopefully it's good still.
everywhere else is good too, I guess. Yeah.
So Naomi started eating Rice Krispies. Those are good. Rice Krispie treats are really that's where it's at. Virtual choir, sleepovers, football practice. Finished watching Survivor. I've never seen an episode of Survivor.
Never seen one episode of Survivor.
I don't know why, because it sounds interesting.
Oh man.
Alyssa said Shore Break Beach Volleyball Club.
Oh, I think that they're new. I don't know much about them. So good luck. It sounds like fun. I'm seeing more and more people getting outdoors and doing that type of stuff. I don't know that they're supposed to or what the case. I do know that Close's rules have opened up a little bit more than Fresno.
I think the Fresno thing expires at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means.
On the 31st. Yeah. So
Find out.
we'll probably see. Hopefully they'll have some guidelines on how we can start
What
integrating
will
again.
start happening? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I literally think that like some of like my like volleyball players went to go play in Clovis because they can't play in Fresno.
That's probably true. There's probably something that happening. I didn't think about that.
Like, oh yeah, like because the rules are, so I don't know. It's just it's so strange. The other thing too, the big thing for me, especially with volleyball, like the first elite practice that I saw, they had a practice there at Club Out in Clovis. They didn't use a ball because of like social distancing.
Oh, weird.
Like they were just like, yeah. So they
Like just like air miming it.
well,
Here
they
it
just
comes.
did a bunch of like conditioning and like footwork stuff and
Wow.
things like that. So no ball whatsoever. Just a bunch of like working on like your feet, and especially in the sand, it's so hard to like move. You have to be trained.
Think about beach volleyball, yeah.
Stuff like that to even move properly because it's just so different than like being on the ground.
Like the only time I really get to like watch either regular volleyball or beach volleyball is like the Olympics.
Yeah.
Which is not happening
Yeah.
this year, which is such a disappointment. My kids were super confused because Melina's just old enough now to kind of get like the every 2 years winter summer thing.
Got it.
She's like, but it was winter 2 years ago. I'm like, yeah, I know, but they're delaying it until next year. She's like, so they can delay all the other ones? I don't think so. Fascinating questions from a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Who knows?
We didn't know we needed to.
I was just reading about everything changing with the coronavirus stuff. I was reading about how they're opening back up air travel, but the article I was reading was talking about how air travel might look, and I was just like, no, I'm not having any of that. Like they're like lines could now be like 4 hours long to do like temperature checks for everyone, and then it was even saying like one airline like you have to raise your hand if you want to go to the bathroom. I'm like, all right, I'll drive. We're not going somewhere for a while. Sorry, airlines, but that sounds horrible. And they're saying like rates going up so they can keep the plane more empty, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, nah, pay more to have a horrible experience.
So wait, I'm also confused though. I want to go back to Nicole's thing. How have you been having sleepovers? Are they like virtual sleepovers? You guys are all on like Zoom together, and
Zoom is the way of doing everything now. Man, so okay, talk about what's new. Last week I told it up, and conservatively, I was on Zoom for 10 hours last week. 10 hours on Zoom.
Oh man!
I'm not even counting like FaceTime and stuff because like I FaceTime with some family. I'm not even counting screens or like YouTube or anything. I'm just Zoom. 10 hours. It feels so long.
Oh,
I was feeling very zoomed out, so I told it up to see why. I'm like, oh, that's why. That's a lot of Zoom.
So zoomed out.
That'll do it right there.
I'm interested. Anybody have a number that's somewhere close to? Did you count the morning sip show?
See, I didn't even count.
Wow.
I didn't count screens. I just counted just
counted
Zoom.
Anybody else have a number that's more than 2 hours? I think that anything that's more than 2 hours.
I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them
noteworthy.
do. Because if you guys are doing school via Zoom, I heard like one student say like in one day they did 5 hours of Zoom.
Yeah.
And I was like, no,
that's
no.
too much.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. Throw out your number of like how many hours you think last week. You're probably doing some math right now, which is good. Your number.
So we're saying just Zoom, anything like Zoom like, because I know some of you use like Google Meets. Is that what it's called? Google Meeting.
No, Hangouts.
Well, there's the meeting one now. That's like Zoom.
Okay.
And then there's other ones too that exist.
Yeah. So
Microsoft has one. They all have.
Some type of
Zoom is just the vernacular now.
Meeting. Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing what your numbers are for
mostly just Zoom to hang out with friends. That's a good way to do it.
For Zoom. How many hours?
So Nicole was at her grandma's and the cousins.
Oh, nice.
Very fun.
Nice.
Nice to get out, right? Change the scenery.
Yeah.
So today is mine and Megan's anniversary. And
happy anniversary.
Yeah. 13 years. It's a record for us. So we always would try to do something. Like our first year married, super broke, didn't have anything, but we scraped together just to go off in the weekend, we went to Reno, which is a couple hours from where we were. Mm-hmm. We'll go stay there for a night. So we're like, we should always do something. So Melina is in that mindset too, it's your anniversary, so you guys go somewhere. She's like, where are you going? So I'll explain, we'll probably spend some time in this nice spot called the dining room, hang out a little bit in the living room, take a detour outside, nice getaway. Those places.
Yeah, no, that's
about what we got planned.
Yeah, 13 years though. Congrats, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Not a whole lot of people.
2007.
Yeah.
Someone said that 3 hours straight Zoom. Yeah, well, we did 3 hours. We did like staff meeting, and then we did a follow up meeting. That was about 3 right there.
Yeah, no, I think it was probably more than 3 if you got on. I mean, even if you got on right on time, because staff went over a little bit, and then our meeting went over a little bit. So
It's
weird.
a lot of Zoom.
Yeah.
A lot of Zoom.
And I was standing the whole time too.
That's what's impressive.
Yeah.
I did not. I was sitting in my comfy chair. I did stand like one time for a little bit. I guess not so bad, but not the whole time.
Yeah, so I don't know. When we do when you teach, you stand up, right? When you do your Zooms on Wednesday Night Live.
I don't.
No,
Yeah.
I can't.
Normally
say that.
I would.
Well,
I
can,
switched
but-
to stool teaching for those.
I can, but I have a hard time. I'm so like expressive. I use my hands a lot when I talk. My wife tells me I use my hands too much sometimes. So I can't sit down and like talk. I'm just like, like Ricky Bobby, like, what do you do here?
I don't know if this is my name.
That's me. And so I'm sitting down and it feels really weird. So
Do you ever try talking like while sitting on your hands?
yeah, no, I do that a lot.
That's hard to do.
I do that a lot actually. Like if you go back and watch the show, like you'll notice me doing this like
Interesting.
a lot of times.
Look at that.
Yeah, when I'm sitting down, just because I feel like I need to be doing something with my hands.
What do I do?
So like let me just sit on them.
That works.
Kind of like chill myself out a little bit. So yeah.
Hope was on 8 hours last week of Zoom.
Oh
It's a lot.
wow.
It's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah. Zoom, and again, I'm glad. It's like that thing. I'm glad we have it, but at the same time, it's like, man, it's just a lot. It's a lot of Zoom. It's better than nothing, though.
It's everyone's solution to how do we how do we move forward in all of this, which is I don't know. It's an interesting dilemma. Is like if everyone's solution is that we should Zoom this thing, then
Everyone's gonna be Zooming.
everyone's going to be Zooming, yeah, and then eventually people are going to get tired of it and burned out, and we're going to have
So
people.
their stock is just gonna like shoot up.
It's gonna,
What happened?
oh man,
Which is interesting to think. I don't know. You guys can look it up. When Zoom started, like how long it's been around. Like, I've only heard of it for I don't know, maybe a year or two. So if COVID-19 happened 3-4 years ago, we at least probably won't have Zoom. I don't know. Curious. One of those things.
yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I want to say that I heard of it like maybe at least more than 2 years ago.
Really?
I want to say
It's been
like
around for a
3
while.
or 4. Yeah, I think. Because even when it got brought back up, or like we were gonna move to like our staff meeting to Zoom or whatever it was, the first time that it was mentioned this year, I was like, oh, Zoom's coming back. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember when I used it before, but.
Oh, I remember like hearing about GoToMeeting was a thing several years ago.
Meeting.
Yeah. So I remember that. That was.
Yeah, we used to use that a lot at the place that I worked at before this.
Hope says Zoom came out in 2013, 7 years ago. That's a
Mhm.
lot longer than I thought.
Mhm.
Wow. Ethan, remember when Zoom was actually exciting and new? Exactly. There's kind of like, so this is the really interesting thing. Will and I have been talking to other staff at the church, and then even other churches, been talking to other pastors and stuff. And there's been kind of this universal thing of like, all right, this is new. It's almost kind of exciting. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to shift? Looking at that. And then like after a couple of weeks, like the novelty wore off, and it's like, oh, we're doing this. Like, this is what we got. Because you just can't replace the in-person contact. We just miss you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to even think of like different things that we can do or different ways to just like change it up a little bit. And I don't know if we're really going to get there to the point that we want to be at, but it is it's pretty challenging to make it. The novelty is worn off, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're feeling that, don't worry. Everyone else is too.
Yeah,
We're all in the same boat.
definitely.
For sure.
I love Liliana's comment. She said, whenever I'm on Zoom too long, I get nervous and my face feels weird. I usually get self-conscious since I can see myself.
That's
I feel
true.
like everyone's watching me.
Right? Because you're on with like 30
See
people
me.
who are like, everyone's looking at me right now.
It's just like, and there's no way, right? Like, if you look at somebody else, like, I mean, even sometimes in like staff meeting, like I'm looking at people, and like if I'm looking at the gallery view, which I usually am, then you can't really even what's our staff 12.
Mhm.
you can't see you can't really see in detail everybody. You just see a little small snippet of them, right? And even when you zoom in, sometimes you can't really see. I've asked Pastor Michael several times. I'm like, hey, so and so sleeping? I can't tell if my man's asleep or not on the Zoom call because you can't really tell. So
that's why I feel both the junior high and high school Zooms that we do, there's however many 20, 30 on there.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot even I get on there, I put it on there to see. I'm like, okay, I can see that is. And I know my eyes aren't the greatest anyways. I need to get new for sure contacts.
Yeah.
But then also I asked Megan, I'm like, okay, can you see? She's like, no, she can't either. But she also has bad eyes, so that's actually not a great example. The point is though, it's hard to see.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about it, Liliana. I think that everybody kind of goes through that, but don't worry.
Yeah.
No one's staring at you.
Unless you're on with one other person, then they probably are staring at you.
Right. Yeah.
But
then they're zoomed right in.
They're right on
your face, and so make sure you just at least do a quick wash before you get on, just in case. Clean the slobber off from the night before, and
Hope says her brother and her share movies through Zoom. Horrible quality and choppy, but fun. That's a good idea. Think about that, a movie night. That's all jittery and probably not great sound, but at least you're watching it together.
So I just saw this thing that a former player of mine posted, and it said Netflix party. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of this, but I've not seen.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask her.
A few years ago, Netflix started a thing where you could watch with friends, but it never really took off. I never heard about it again. So I don't know if it's that, if it's something else.
There was when I looked at it, there was at least a dozen people. It might have been her small group or something. There were at least a dozen people that were
Are they all just clicking at the same time, 1, 2, 3, play, or is it an actual?
Maybe no. I mean, maybe you just maybe you set it up. You you set the time for when the movie's gonna start, and everybody just logs in and goes to. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know.
That would make sense.
I'm not sure though.
All these creative options we have to do to keep it interesting and exciting.
Yeah.
Speaking of interesting and exciting, we're gonna do some icebreakers. I'm just gonna go through and ask Will one from each, just to do something different. So, ready? Here we go.
Stop.
All right, this is unfinished sentences, so you guys get ready to answer too. All right, left or right?
Left.
Let's go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Oh, interesting. All right, so get ready, guys. Think about this. The most memorable compliment you ever received. Most memorable compliments ever received.
Man.
I actually have one. If you're thinking still.
Man.
I got it. I got one ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I was in a little band when I was in high school and in college a little bit, and we played at this event. It was a small little venue thing at the school, and it was 600-700 people. But we played, and it was almost like a battle of the bands kind of a thing. And the guy leading it told us we were the second best. And the reason I remember that is because we knew we weren't the best at all. Because we were backstage with this guy hanging out. We were watching this band. It was incredible. And we're like, man, they're so good. He's like, yeah, aren't they amazing? He's like, yeah. He's like, you know what? You guys were the second best, though. And it wasn't him just blowing smoke of oh, you guys are totally just as good as them. Because we knew that wasn't true. But it was a compliment that we actually believed. So we're actually I'll take second best. That's amazing. Thank you. So it stuck in all of our heads because it was a weird compliment.
Right.
But it was genuine and real. So we're yeah. Second best. I'm all right with that.
No doubt.
I'm all right with second best.
No doubt. Okay, so I had a hard time coming up with one. There's a bunch of them that are rolling through my mind right now, which is why. So the one I think that really kind of changed my life a lot too is one of my mentors in the Marine Corps. His name was Sergeant Choate. He took me under his wing, literally, when I first got to my first duty station down in Camp Pendleton. He took me under his wing and he called me the prodigy. And basically, he was like, "Look, there's a lot of potential that you have in you because of all of these different things, and you don't know it yet, but you're going to be really good at what you do."
Dang.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool." It was him. Then there was another guy that was underneath him. His name was Corporal Salgado. He became another mentor of mine, and I looked up to those guys, and because of them, all of the accolades that I received in the Marine Corps was literally because of that guy being you have the potential to do this. And I did a lot of the things that he told me that I had the potential to do.
Did he call you the project publicly, in front of others?
Yeah.
Was that weird at all? Were others this guy, seriously?
I think, no, I don't know. I think that I didn't feel it. So I don't know if they did or not, if they felt there was favoritism. Because there would have been, especially because I got there and there were already people who were there who were, even some of them ranked higher than me,
Okay.
But I don't know. So I'm not sure. I didn't really feel any people disliked me because of there's a little bit of favoritism, I think, that
Yeah.
was shown to me by this
Maybe a
guy.
lot more competitiveness, maybe, which is
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I have no idea why, but yeah. Until this day, I still have a little green like notebook that says like the Prodigy on it, like that I wrote.
It's a pretty sweet nickname, anyways. Too. That's another good one. Yeah, that's a good one. And he always said that someone called her their lighthouse and gave me that nickname because she helped them out of a dark time. That's a good one. That's a great compliment.
That's a great
That's fantastic.
The lighthouse.
That's a good one.
All right. I'm gonna ask Pastor Michael now. What if is the
Here
book?
we go. Get ready. Stop.
Let's
Right
go.
side 2.
Number 2. What if a non-Christian had 3 minutes to live and wanted to know how to become a Christian?
Wow. Man.
3 minutes.
So you hear about these kind of like scenarios, or like I had a pastor that would always say, basically have ready like an elevator testimony, like, 60 seconds or less kind of thing. And I wonder, I'm sure there's people who've had this scenario, who've had someone with 3 minutes left to live, or like on their deathbed,
Right.
had that. It's never happened to me, but just thinking about that.
Yeah.
I think, if they actually wanted to know about Jesus, I still think that personal testimony is a powerful way to communicate truth of the gospel. But of course, you have to still get in all the tenets of like, here's the facts. We're all sinners. We all need a savior. Get that commonality there that we're all in the same boat in that sense. And then just talk about the fact that I know Jesus to be real because of the experiences I've had. And kind of, 3 minutes, it'd be a lot of pressure. There'd be a lot of like, especially depending on the situation. If there's like blood gushing out or something, then it'd be a little nerve wracking. But just get Jesus in there as much as possible. The thing that I always go back to also is just like that almost peace about those kind of situations, knowing, again, it's like these are the good works that God has set up for us. And so it's like, like when I play ball with my kids, like I underhand toss them the ball so they can hit it. I feel like that's what God does with us. And not that we're always going to hit out of the park, because there's also the person's choice.
Right.
But he's setting us up to do the things he wants us to do. And then we just got to walk in that, be faithful in that, and then kind of just rest on, okay, well, God's got it from here.
Yeah.
Not easy, but
Yeah.
it at least gives me a little bit more peace of like, it's not up to me. It's not up to me.
Right.
I don't have to be perfect.
Right.
Because I'll like analyze things like, I should have said this. I should have said that. I should have. But if they got 3 minutes, there's none of that.
3 minutes is not.
3
minutes is not a whole lot of time. My go-to is always the Roman road. Romans 3:23, 6:23, 5:8, and then 10, 9 and 10, and then 10:13 also, if you want to throw that in there as well, because I like that. But like weaving that into, I could do that I'm pretty sure I could do that in 3 minutes and weave in like my personal testimony, because that's so significant.
Yeah.
It's like the power of like what has specifically happened to you, before Christ, since you've accepted him, and then now how like your life is different. We're actually doing a 3-minute testimony like period on Wednesday nights right now.
Bring that question.
With all of like the leaders, so they'll have to give like a 3-minute like big picture story, because our series is titled Big Picture. So I have to give like a 3-minute like big picture story of like something that happened in their life, specifically where like what happened beforehand, what happened like in the middle, and then like what happened afterwards, where you were like able to see the big picture from like the rear view. And that's a really good like way to like practice, kind of how to get that out.
So I always sit here that like would have no idea what to do in that moment, which is great. That's true. Honestly, it's like, well, what would I do? That's why what we'll say is kind of like even practicing a little bit ahead of time, just at least knowing your own personal story. That whole testimony idea of like, okay, before Christ, how you came to Christ, and then after Christ. Just those even 3 simple things. That was like the elevator testimony that a pastor I knew would say. It's like, if you're in an elevator, you're on the 16th floor going to the first floor, and someone says like, oh, tell me about yourself. Or like, if they even know for some reason you're a Christian, like, hey, tell me why you are. Like, oh, I got like 30, 60 seconds maybe.
Right.
Boom. Okay, this. And then if you got more time, great. If not, at least you got that out there.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of thing of like, most of us probably won't have someone 3 minutes left to live. You don't know. But either way, being prepared, because what if there's someone that just says like, hey, tell me about what you believe or something. I've had those kind of situations come up.
Right. Yeah.
Someone like on a Sunday, like, oh, what'd you do today? Oh, I was at church. Oh, why?
and in those moments, it's usually not like, oh yeah, we're sitting down for coffee and we have an hour to talk about this. usually like they will happen like in passing and when you least expect it. And
Yeah.
you know, you don't want to miss out on an opportunity because you're just like, oh well, let me give you the number of my pastor.
Yeah.
And, like, tell you-
'Cause they're not gonna call.
yeah, exactly. They're
Like Megan and I, one time we were on vacation, we had an Uber driver, and somehow randomly it came up that like I think it was something about Sunday or church or something, and so we mentioned that, and they're like, oh, like you guys go to church, like why? It's like, oh, for one, I'm a pastor, but also we've always gone to church and talked about that. We believe in Jesus, and so we probably had a good maybe 5-6 minute car ride just from the airport to the hotel, but it was pretty much a captive audience. I mean, the driver couldn't get out of the car, and she asked, so we were answering. Weren't being like pushy about it, but it was just an opportunity, and who knows whatever will happen from there. But
right.
just another opportunity that was kind of set up.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You guys see? Trusting in Jesus helps you feel secure. Absolutely. That's the cool thing too. When I can't remember who said it, but this idea that like even when we're tested, like a good teacher, the idea of a test is for you to succeed at the test.
Right.
And so in the same way, like the things that God puts in our life, he wants us to succeed, to get through, to overcome and persevere through. The difficulties, the good things, everything.
Yeah.
Even those kind of opportunities, like he doesn't set us up to be like, ha, you didn't know what to say, look at you.
Yeah.
Like he wants to set us up for success in those areas. So
Right.
it does help us feel secure and bring some peace, I think.
Yeah.
Which,
sure.
Speaking of testimony, Will texted me this morning. I don't know if you guys heard or know who this is, but a guy named Ravi Zacharias passed away today.
Yeah.
Who you need to look up. I mean, just go on YouTube and like search for some of his talks, some of the things he said. Incredible man, a great apologetist. I mean, he knew the Bible. Like I knew the Bible, knew how to argue proof of God, and he's definitely a loss for us, for sure.
Yeah, no. Our lost, heaven's gain. I started listening to Ravi maybe 7 years ago on the radio, and just kind of like fell in love with his like teaching.
Brilliant.
Just such a great mind. Again, we lost I sent a message to another friend of mine this morning saying that like lost a giant in the faith this morning. He was like, big facts. So that was his response. His book Jesus Amongst Other Gods is one that I've read, and I've even taught through a curriculum called Jesus Amongst the Secular Gods. And so anyway, the whole, I think the ministry is called RZIM, Ravi Zacharias International Ministries. They put out a whole bunch of like different content and stuff like that. Really great. If you haven't heard of them before, I would check it out. But yeah, we kind of lost a giant this morning.
So one of my favorite, I was looking up stuff about him this morning after I was talking with Will. One of my favorite things that he said, someone asked him about evil, basically, is how can there be evil in the world? Why is there evil? And so his response was this. It's a little bit lengthy, so just hold on for a second and listen, but this is good. He said, okay, when you say there's too much evil in this world, you assume there's good. If you assume there's good, you assume there's such a thing as a moral law on the basis of which to differentiate good and evil. If you assume there's a moral law, you must posit that there's a moral law giver. But that's what you're trying to disprove and not prove. If there's no moral law giver, there's no moral law. If there's no moral law, there's no good. If there's no good, then there's no evil. So, I mean, just that gives you a taste of like the way his mind works. This is like on the spot. Like someone asked him a question. That's
right.
Just, he came up with that. It's like, well, if you say this, there's gotta be this. If you say that, there's gotta be this. It's just like boom, 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 boom. And usually a lot of interactions you're gonna watch of people like arguing him, they're like, okay. Like, thank you.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Savant is kind of like how his mind
Brilliant
works.
guy. So if you actually want to like find out more ways to argue or even just kind of shore up, put some more legs under your faith, he's a great resource that really was a wise and just really good man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so there's another little random thing that happened today. Well, want to do some Q&A?
Yeah,
You got some questions? You got anything? I actually had some students text me some questions. So while we're waiting for you guys to text them out, let me see here what I got. So this was a good one, I thought. A student asked me, okay, if you could go back to the start of quarantine and do one thing different, what would it be? And I was like, I don't know. Like one thing. Because I was like, one thing different. Okay. I just don't even know. I think one thing different I'd want to know is that it was going to be a little longer than I expected. Like when I kind of kicked into like setting up my little home office and all those things, I'm like, a couple weeks, week or two, that was going to be, it. And then like I would have maybe grabbed some more books out of my office. Like I would have got a little bit more like things. So basically what I would do, like I would text somebody at the office and say, like, hey, can you take a picture of this book for me?
Right,
These
yeah.
pages. And so I've been doing that, which is helpful. But that was the only thing I could really think of. Like, I don't know what I would do different if I could go back with like the knowledge I have now. I'd probably buy stock in Zoom, maybe. Maybe do that. Not the most spiritual answer, but they're probably doing all right now.
Yeah, no, I don't know. For me, one of the big challenges that I've had during like this whole time is that I've had a really hard time connecting with some of my students, and I think that like some of the information that I felt like I had that was like pretty good in terms of like contacting them and being able to get a hold of them is like proven that like our system is just.
I've gotten so many emails
like,
bounced back,
skewed,
like
yeah,
incorrect address. Oh no, like, that's all I had.
And so I think that if I had the opportunity to go back with the knowledge that I have now, I would go back to just kind of like make sure for sure that all the students that we had good ways to like be able to contact them outside of our like gathering or our like assembly, because that was, we were so, reliant and dependent upon that. I think that I've told you that before, just in all transparency, like I have like in terms of like what we've done and the way that we've set up our ministry is that we've had a lot of dependence on like our ability to gather and meet on Sunday, on Wednesday, if we're doing something on Friday for a game night or anything. But like the point is that like we always were able to meet, and that was, the bulk of how ministry was being portrayed. And I think that, again, going back prior to all this starting, I would make sure that we had other things in place to be able to continue as successfully as possible if we weren't able to like physically meet. And again, because we didn't know how long it was going to be, it's just like, oh well, this is just a little temporary solution to a problem, but we're going to get through it pretty quickly. And now we're here in the 9th episode of Morning Sip, and we're just like, yeah, this is probably going to continue a little while
more.
longer.
Yeah. And we're just owning it, It's like, yeah. So let's see, we got hug everyone was the answer. Absolutely. Spend more time talking to people, even if it's awkward. True. Get everyone's emails. Yeah. Buy a million sketch pads. Also a good idea. Nicole would get a fake chicken, which I'm curious about. I mean, yeah, why not? But
you can still do that.
Good
though.
answer.
I mean,
Yeah. Amazon, right? Yeah.
If you want,
thank goodness for Amazon.
If you want a fake chicken, Nicole, I'll get you one.
Could you imagine not only if we didn't have like Zoom and YouTube and all this stuff, but if we didn't have Amazon? We are really set up right now for a global pandemic more than previous generations.
This year was the right year for it to happen.
Yeah, that's right. I hope it's a good question. What do you fear about getting older? Oh man. Yeah, getting older mostly. That's part of it. Yeah. Honestly, I got to think about that a little bit more because it's a pretty profound question. But I will say one thing. Megan and I both talked about this. We've always been the little ones, the young ones, the babies. Mm-hmm. So in our families, we're both the youngest, and even like our extended families, we're always the littlest. So there's always like part of our identity really is being like the young one, the little one, the kiddos. And so as you get older, like you're still younger than everybody else, but you're not young. Yeah. So it's kind of this weird like. That is, you don't even realize that was part of our identity, like who we are as people. Yeah. Or I mean, kind of like you mentioned, like I was always like, I started off in ministry when I was 19. And so I was always like, oh, that young kid in ministry. Yeah. So it's kind of a thing of like, oh, you're so young and you're already doing this. Yeah. And now I'm not that young anymore. So it's like, you don't realize how that kind of gets wrapped in there. So I think it's part of that maybe. I guess fear. What do I fear about being older? I don't know.
I think for me, it's, there's two things. One is like I don't know. I guess it's fear. One is like my memory. I don't know. It's frustrating. Like the older that you get, even now, like I'm only 30, want to be 32 this year. But like there's certain things that I'm just like, it's frustrating when I can't remember. And I feel like if I was 25 or even 21, like I wouldn't have that problem. I just obviously think that that's progressively going to get worse. I mean, and I guess the big thing is obviously more as I continue to live longer, more information comes in. So I have to have some capacity of storing info and certain things have to go out. Right? That's just a process. The other thing is physically, like the physical part of aging and, your body, slowly starting to break down. Like there's a guy, I've shared this on the show before that I used to work at River Park, the shopping center, and the the guy who owns the company that manages River Park. His name's Ed Cashin. He's like 80 plus. I don't even know his exact age, but he's old. And the guy is like in great like health condition wise. Like he's walking like literally, like if we had to go somewhere like on the property, we had like a cart or something like that. Like he wanted to walk like wherever we were gonna go to like go visit something on the property. He's like, no, Mr. Cashin, like we have the cart, you know, that's the reason why you bought it, so we can like go get around like the property. He's like, no, like I want to walk. Like, I think I told you that he had the little he has a treadmill in his office.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's the same guy. He's in great like health, you know. And so I don't know. I look at that and I'm just like, man, if I could get to like that and then just go from that to, you know, passing away and just going to be with the Lord, then that would be
that's the ideal, right?
like. That would be ideal.
And like right now, I'm like, oh, I left my book in my bedroom. I don't get that bad. So I probably should change some habits there if I want to. Eventually, I want to be like that. But yeah. I think it's another thing too. Like, so growing up, again, like I had a really good memory. And I guess I still have good memory, but that was again part of like identity. Was I can remember everything. It's like even like my circle of friends. They'd be like, Michael, how'd that one story go? Like it was always like I was like the little encyclopedia to go to. Remember what was that person's name we met?
Yeah. I used to pride myself in not having to write down people's phone numbers.
Yeah, see stuff like this.
Yeah.
And now if it's not on my phone, man. Even like my own like family, like if I lost my phone, I would just be like, well, hope they get in touch with me somehow.
Look, I can still remember my mom's number. I still remember the house number.
I know my home number growing up, yeah.
Even though it's not the same anymore.
Any numbers that I had to memorize before I had a cell phone.
Yeah.
I have those still, but
yeah, I don't know if I could say a dozen. For sure a half dozen.
I don't know the number to campus.
Maybe
it's in my phone. I don't know that number.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
I don't even know like the address.
It's on one's on Maple, one's on Palm. But even the one on Palm is actually not in Palm, right? Isn't the address something else?
No, it is Palm.
Oh, okay.
It's that one I do know because it's super easy. It's 222 North Palm.
See? There you go. That's an easy one.
I think so. Let me check my business card.
What food have you missed from this pandemic? Like toilet paper, but except food you can't get a hold of. What have I missed? That's a good question too. Sushi. I haven't had sushi since this started.
No?
I actually haven't had sushi since we moved. Where we used to live, I think I might have mentioned before, there was a fantastic sushi place Megan and I would go to. Great prices for the rolls. They did this thing. They had like a page that was like half off rolls. And so, you could get like a $16 roll for $8, 10 for $5. And they did it like as a promotion, but their sales went like through the roof because of that. They just kept it as like always that was their deal, like just this one page of ones. So we'd always go and get like 4 or 5 of them. And we like sushi.
I have to send you guys some.
That was a good place, but I haven't tried it since the pandemic or since Fresno. Yeah.
That's a long time, man.
It is a long time.
That's like 8 months.
See what I'm saying? It's a long time.
You're depriving yourself. Food that I've missed.
Well, in my defense, though, real quick, the only sushi place I saw is like a little drive-through kiosk that scares me. So I know there's other ones. That's the only one I would see like in my normal route. So I was like, nah. It could be great. I don't know.
Yeah,
whoever owns it, I'm sure it's great.
There's a couple things that I don't want to drive through.
Right?
Sushi is definitely one of those
That's how I
things.
feel. Yeah.
Sushi is definitely one. Like I feel like that. Like I mean, and no disrespect to whoever owns it, but I just feel like that's
it could be great.
That's just asking.
Yeah,
trouble.
in my head, I'm just like, I can't get there.
It's just asking for trouble.
I can't get there.
You know, it's like how you drive through sushi.
Send recommendations. This is good. Yeah, especially ones if they're doing curbside pickup. Sushi. Maybe we'll do it for our anniversary dinner. Fantastic.
I love sushi. Then you got to go. I love sushi. It's a favorite.
Is it I love sushi? I think you're stating the fact.
Yeah, I love lamb.
Sushi. Yeah, love carpet.
Love couch.
Yeah, just
chair.
things that we love. What about you? Missing any food in particular?
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's really hard for me. I can't think of anything. I've been racking my brain. Maybe I'll think of something and it'll come to me before the show ends. But just because of Alexis being sick, we got like the meal train that's been set up, which is just great. Like I can't imagine like where we would be without being a part of campus and then having so many people who like want to help and serve and love on our family. So we get like meals like regularly. We get dinner 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. And a lot of those have been homemade, but especially since the pandemic has started, we've been getting like a lot of like Grubhub or like Uber
Oh,
Eats,
cool.
like people
Yeah.
send us stuff. So we kind of just like, we get a lot of opportunities to go to like the places that we've like missed or haven't had,
Mm.
or like have been craving. And so just, I mean, that's a huge shout out to our campus family and the love and like support that we've got from so many different people who just want to love on us and things like that. So yeah, I don't know that there's a food that I have missed since the pandemic started. I think that the one thing so there's something that I haven't had, and I'm not really craving it, but I haven't had it.
Is it Sour Patch
This
Kid
was
yogurt?
something. If you didn't see last week's episode, go back and watch it, especially the end. You'll see some fun stuff happen. So my barber, right down the street from Palm, my barber who used to I cut my hair this morning because my father-in-law called me out and said it's getting a little long. My barber's right down the street from Palm, and one day he and I were talking, and he's like, yeah, like KFC's chicken sandwiches are way better than Popeyes. And
Oh, this is the debate.
talking
Yeah.
about. And you said Long John Silver's, which
They got good chicken.
I still don't understand.
Trust me, it's so good.
I can't. Just like the drive-in sushi, I can't
That's
trust
fair.
a Long John Silver's for chicken. All right, if you buy it, I'll eat it.
There you
How
go.
about
That's fair.
that? But he's like, yeah, you got to go to KFC and try their sandwich. And again, because it's right down the street from Palm, I was just like, oh yeah, why not? So one day I was just like, I was hungry for lunch. I just went over to KFC like 11:30. It was before like the lunch crowd kicked in. And I just like sat down, and it was actually nice. I sat down, I got some work done, had a chicken sandwich, had some type of weird like Mountain Dew. It was good. And so I haven't had a KFC chicken sandwich since all this started. And I was having one at least every other week, probably before the pandemic started. So I don't know. It was, every other week is probably close to accurate. I don't know.
That's how I miss, like, just because we moved, and then like a chunk of the time we've been here now has been locked down. We miss like just even having like places, like that's our spot for, like back home we had like that's our spot for barbecue, that's our spot for sushi, that's our spot for this. So I still don't even know like what's the spots for these things.
What places are your
Yeah, we
spots?
found a few that are like, oh, it's really good, and we found a few that are like, oh, all right, go there again. So it's like that still kind of that I miss like familiar food maybe, but good that I don't have to make. So that kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's a challenge, because you're still new to the area. You don't have like, man, like I'm craving like
Exactly.
this place, right now, or if like, it is Tri-Tip and I'm craving Doghouse, or I'm craving,
I know where to go to get this
Logan's
thing.
Roadhouse, whatever. Yeah, exactly. So that is a challenge.
I see one more question here. Ethan says, how has CBC been different from your initial expectations?
That's for you.
Different than
I guess
initial.
it could
be
be
for
for
me.
me.
Yeah. Different than initial. I got to think about that. So what were my initial expectations and how is it different? I think it's hard. I mean, I've changed jobs enough now that you know that whatever your initial expectations are, you're still going to not know everything going into like any situation. Different than initial expectations. I say it was pleasantly different at how quickly we got to know the students and how like we're almost at the end of the year and like the seniors, you guys moving up, it's like, oh, get you right there, It's like we've only known you guys for whatever it is now, 6-7 months.
Right.
But it's like we love you guys. We really do. Something pastors say a lot, but we really do mean it. Different, I think there's an aspect too, like, you always go into something, and I kind of told a story a little bit too, but each step of the way, God really was like kind of nudging us along with stuff. And each step of the way, it was always like when's the other shoe going to drop here? And kind of like, I don't know. Because you're always just kind of maybe not. It's like a dating relationship, but like a blind date almost. And I think we've been just amazed and, again, exceeded expectations that there hasn't been that moment of like, oh no, what did we get ourselves into or anything like that? Not that there ever has in other positions, but you just never, especially for us, I mean, a move, it was all these kind of big things that we were always like, yeah, but what if it doesn't, what if something goes, what if it doesn't, what if that? And I think just pleasantly surprised, and shouldn't be surprised because God knows what he's doing.
Right.
But, just like, oh, cool. Like, oh,
yeah,
okay. that did work out the way we were hoping.
Yeah, no doubt. If his hand is on it, then again, like, you know, you got to trust that he's going to work it out the way that it should be. I think that for me, there's a couple things. One is that we came from a pretty small in terms of like the size in comparison to campus, historically Black church, and so not knowing exactly like what to expect is so it's everything kind of is like changed or exceeded expectations because we didn't really have a whole ton of like what to expect. Like we've never been in a congregation the size of campus. We've never had like the different age differences of like the population in this campus. We've never had like the different like backgrounds of different types of people that we've had like at campus. So that's all been, but I think that the really like pleasant thing about that is that because I didn't know like really what to expect from a larger church, that it still has like the feel like a kind of like vibe of like a small like home church where people like really genuinely love you and they like genuinely like care about how you're doing, and like you still get a lot of people who are interested in like what's going on with you and your family and all those types of things. And you don't, I don't know, I guess in my expectation that you wouldn't be able to build those types of relationships in like such a large population of people. But I think that one of the things that campus does well is like we really promote like heavily like small groups, and there's more things that we want to do like to continue to make them better and things like that. But and in general, campus does a pretty good job of like trying to fill the gaps and meet needs of like individuals and make sure that everyone kind of feels love. And that speaks a lot to how Jim like looks at things and sees like the world and wants to make sure that that's like a priority of his and stuff like that. So I guess that's a big thing, because I think that New Beginnings was like 300, maybe 350. And that's like literally if everybody attended on Sunday, which never happens ever. Like you usually get like, I don't know what the number is, 80% or something like that.
That's probably
congregation size regularly every Sunday. So
see, even like for me, like my background, like that would be like a big church.
Yeah.
Be like, oh wow, that'd be big. Like the biggest church I'd worked at prior was probably about 350. Mm-hmm. I remember going there and being like, that's just so big. And so again, it really does speak to like campus that it's bigger than that. It's at least twice as large as any church I've worked at before. But I worked at smaller churches that felt like bigger churches, and not in a good way. I mean, like right. Just like more disconnected, didn't really feel like it had that like, I don't know, community aspect. So again, it speaks to leadership. It speaks to a lot of things. This is kind of a relational, connected church, which is cool. Yeah. Again, I don't know what to expect. Like, hey, this is bigger than anything I've been a part of. So what's it going to be like? So I say that way, again, it was not what I expected, but in a good way. So yeah, there's those kind of initial thoughts, I guess. Sometime maybe we should just do like a full session of just Q&A, because every time you guys bring questions, they are great. They're great. And I love hearing from you guys too that's one of the reasons why we do this live instead of just recording it. And so it's always nice to be able to interact with you. So yeah, I think that maybe, I don't know, maybe not a morning sit, maybe something else, maybe a different, just like live Q&A. I don't know how many people are on Instagram, but maybe we can just go live on Instagram, and see, we're looking at options, all kinds of options. Yeah, but yeah, I enjoy the Q&A section of our show as well. So it is fun. Yeah. Very cool. Well, I think, guys, that is going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us as we continue to shelter in place. Yeah, we're just even like right over on our side right here. You can't see it, but there's this big box that we pulled in, and my kids are like coloring on it, like cutting doors and windows out of. And like Melina and the kids were in there, and they were talking FaceTime to their cousin. So like we're sheltering in place in our box. So they made their own. The cutest thing. They made their own shelter in place. It's the cutest thing ever. Yes, yeah. So we're all sheltering in place together. Yeah, we're all in it together. Yeah. I'm gonna hang out with you guys this morning, and we'll see you next time. See you guys. Have a good rest of your sheltered day. What other question?